what we'll see with underpopulation will be repeated all around the world if we don't act.
The idea that population control can solve any of humankind's problems is a fallacy.
Are you seriously suggesting that we should allow this to take place globally? How dare you?
No, thank you. The issue of...
We cannot go back. No, thank you, sir. We are celebrating migration. No, thank you. It's protected time.
How dare you force us into this never-ending cycle of economic downfall?
We on this side of the House stand for freedom.
It's a threat to the economy, it's a threat to people's livelihoods, and quite frankly, it's a threat to the very fabric of society.
We have to oppose the motion.
As fewer people reproduce, there are fewer people in the next generation to reproduce. This cycle continues and leads to an exponential decay of the global population.
The idea that population control can solve any of humankind's problems is a fallacy. It's a deeply rooted fallacy, but it's still a fallacy. And you will hear the people sitting at the table on this side use a number of subject areas that you study to demonstrate that human wisdom indicates that population control will not solve human problems.
So how we would impose population control? It's not through some limitation to human rights, like the right to family. It's through distributing the population from areas of high population density to areas of low population density. This could be, but not limited to, offering financial incentives for people to move if they wish.
It will protect human rights. What we will do is use an intelligent algorithm to provide financial incentives in order for people to voluntarily move to various countries.
All of us are extremely alarmed at the suggestion that we're going to make major changes to society on the basis of an algorithm. I think algorithms have had a rather bad press in the not too distant past, and for good reason. And it's a word, control, which I don't think the other side seems to have grasped yet about the implications of that word. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. So wrote the writer and philosopher George Santayana.
The lead algorithm developer at Google even compared humans and AI as like flies to Einstein. These algorithms are going to be so complex we can't comprehend them.
You can call a booze-soaked Downing Street party a work meeting, and you can call a widespread invasion of Europe a special military operation, but we will not be fooled. We know exactly what you're doing. Your benign, lovely, community-based Google algorithm, when you can and cannot make love and have children concept, is going to be exposed for exactly what it is.
Sir, Mr. Kershaw, you've talked about how and should, but quite frankly, your whole argument is based on how. And the fact of the matter is, the proposition is saying, should we impose population control? You're undermining the whole debate as we say it.
It is tragically sad that the issue of underpopulation is not paid greater attention.
But many of you have known of this threat for decades and yet failed to grasp the attention of the world. Is this because you didn't understand the consequences? Is this because it is less pressing on the environment? Is this just purely out of ignorance?
What you have suggested is that we need to be incentivising artificial population growth in the most economically developed areas of the world. These are the places which use the most carbon resources per person, use up most of the world's resources per person. And at the same time, you are suggesting limiting population growth where it has the least impact.
At various points, they talked about the idea that somehow we're going to shift populations from one area to another. They didn't really kind of elaborate by what mechanism they would do this. They just talked about the idea that there might be some kind of form of international aid. What does this seem to suggest to us? It obviously has really significant political consequences. Are we suggesting that primarily, presumably Western-dominated international organizations should basically interfere in the internal demographic management of sub-Saharan African countries? Their argument fundamentally attacks human rights. Thank you very much.
We are celebrating migration. No, thank you. It's protected time. Now, why have we won? Well, all of your points we've rebutted. All of our points you have not rebutted convincingly at all. Now, why have you lost? Well, the problem is the biggest issue in this is underpopulation, which you have not prepared for at all, and it's an insult to this debate. Thank you very much.
So, in conclusion, I think overall we felt that the really good thing about this debate was the passion shown by all the speakers. Everything was grounded in real-life concerns for issues around the climate and morality, and the examples were really strong throughout. And the economic potential that you suggested was quite well countered by the opening speaker on the opposition. On that basis, we have awarded the win to the opposition. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. I hope you learned a lot and take away from this more knowledge, as well as a drive to further your knowledge and pursue your understanding in subjects you're interested in. Thinking makes you win the battles you undertake. If you can think and write and speak, you are unstoppable. Nothing can get in your way. Thinking is the most powerful weapon you can possibly wield. Seize the power, learn to think, learn to write, learn to convey your ideas effectively, so that those around you can know your opinion, hear your opinion, and understand your opinion. And never take what others say as an unquestionable truth, no matter how much you think you can trust them. Always be capable of thinking for yourself, and through this, you will unleash your true potential.